All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where of course you subscribe for our daily videos, keeping you informed on everything going on with Bitcoin, crypto, the whole market. We keep you informed on a day-to-day basis, but I think the true value comes when we talk about how this applies big picture, and that's exactly what I want to share with you today. For instance, we're going to go back to 2016 and take a look at a video that was published almost 3 years to date, 3 years ago in 2016, and check out this one gentleman's, his price predictions, and just talk about how wrong he was. Now, before we do that, let's talk about what happened in the last 24, 48 hours. We broke upwards from just under $8,000, and in a matter of hours, we were just below $9,000. In fact, our new 2019 yearly high is about $8,930, and what I like to see is that we're actually consolidating and accumulating near the top. This is right now Bitcoin's price is about $8,700, and we've been there for the past few hours, but this is exactly what we saw over the last week and a half, where about a week and a half ago Bitcoin had a yearly high of around 8,300, and although we traded between 8,000 and 7,000 for a week and a half, we spent a lot more time close to the top, close to $8,000, and we just broke upwards. Is this just price manipulation? Is somebody pushing the price up? It's possible. I think it's also very much possible, and you don't really think about this, but it's also very possible that this is just a large buy order that was put through on the exchange. This is possible that somebody is accumulating. Keep in mind, there are plenty of people who are accumulating for the last week and a half. I myself bought Bitcoin at 7,200, except these are small orders being placed. I actually think that as we switch from the bear market into the next bull cycle, the buy orders are starting to outweigh the sell orders, and we'll talk about a little bit more on that as we go in the video. A couple things I want to point out. Perhaps this is even more significant, that this surge that we saw bringing Bitcoin up to about $9,000 gives Bitcoin a green yearly candle, meaning investors who purchased Bitcoin 1 year ago from today could sell at a profit. If you would have bought Bitcoin in May 2018, you could sell at a profit, and all you had to do was hold. Bitcoin is now profitable again on a yearly scale. I actually think there's something to be said that Bitcoin under $10,000 is a great buy. You could say that Bitcoin under $20,000 is a good buy. It's just hard to wrap our minds around, right? I don't know about you. You might think of Bitcoin's true price as $8,000. Maybe think of Bitcoin's true price as $6,000, $4,000. I think most people think of Bitcoin as under $20,000. It's just hard to believe, because of human psychology, it's hard to believe that the price could ever be greater than that. And because of that, people often opt for instant gratification to sell when they see slight gains, rather than thinking about the full future and things we've gone over before in this channel. Bottom line is, patience is a virtue, and if you can suppress your need for instant gratification, if you can see the value of holding your core position for possibly the next few years, patience will be rewarded, I think, because keep in mind, we're only at the beginning of this new bull cycle. We've only been, if we switch to the day chart, we're just getting out of this bear cycle. So this is what I want you to keep in mind. Let me show you something. This is a video that was uploaded May 9th, 2016, almost exactly 3 years ago from today. So when this video was uploaded, Bitcoin's bear market had just ended, and there was reason to believe that the bull market was starting. Of course, nobody knew for sure, but look at this chart. So this was uploaded in 2016, but look at this chart. Look at how the bear market is turning into a bull market, and look how similar it is to today. You could look at this and think this was the top of 2017, this was 3,100, and this is the rally that we've been seeing for the past few months. So in this video, predictions were made, but because of human psychology, everybody's thoughts were too small. So let's take a listen to this and let's talk about it.
In this video, I want to talk about Bitcoin and my own view on the Bitcoin price for 2016. A year ago, or approximately a year ago, I did a similar video talking about my impression of where Bitcoin was going during 2015. And of course, most of 2015, it really went sideways. However, I did put a price prediction. I said I believed it would reach between $300 and $400 by the end of the year. And it did, in fact, breach and went over the $300. So I wasn't too far wrong. Anyway, I want to go and talk about this year, because this year has got a number of features which make it different from last year. The first one, I believe, is that Bitcoin has entered a bull market after a significant bear market period. And the other point is that in July, approximately around July 12, the Bitcoin halving takes place, which is when the number of Bitcoins issued every 10 minutes, created every 10 minutes, through the process of mining, is halved from 25 to 12.5. And this will make a significant difference to the amount of new Bitcoin coming into circulation. And if demand stays the same and supply goes down, then it would be logical to assume that there will be a price increase. And that is something which I think will happen, and it's probably already starting to happen, maybe a little bit, in terms of pricing that increase now before the actual halving occurs. So my price prediction for this year really goes back. I look at, once again, the all-time chart, and I look at the trend, and I try to see where that trend is. And I can see a line, if I was to try to draw a rough trend line, I can see a line like this, which I believe could very easily continue. In other words, by the time we get anywhere before the end of the year, we could easily be at 600. I think it's reasonably conservative, but I'm not going to stick my neck out for more than that, because I'm going to look at the trend here, and I would say that looking at this trend, that would seem to be up to 800 would seem to be a reasonable price prediction for the end of the year. Now that represents a significant gain. Now, other people, of course, are making various price predictions. One which I read with great interest just the other day, as of recording this video, a guy called Vinny Lingham, who's a CEO of Identity Group and the former founder of mobile gift platform gift card platform. Now, he's made a number of interesting points through his article, and I've got the link below the video so you can read it. However, I'll just go down to his predictions, which he's saying, if he's forced to make a prediction, because no one really likes to make predictions, because clearly you could be wrong. However, given the points he raises and his very interesting analysis of the Bitcoin market, which I do recommend you read, he does say, of course, he doesn't know where the price is going to go to 1,000 or 10,000 this year, but he does know it's going up. And he says here, and I quote, "If I was forced to predict, I would say that it will hit 1,000 plus in 2016 and 3,000 plus in 2017. Now, I think that's entirely possible. I'm not entirely convinced it will hit 1,000 this year, but I won't be surprised if it does. But if I take his prediction as being possible, and I think it is, then what you're looking at here is a significant price range between now and the end of next year. If Bitcoin is going to go from the current price of around 460, as I record this video, up to 3,000 plus, then you're really looking at a significant gain. And I also recommend that if you do buy, you just hold. You don't try to play the market, unless you are a trader, an experienced trader. You simply hold for a 2 to 3 year period. I believe you will be very pleased with the fact that you decide to do that. Now, of course, I don't want to give this as investment advice. This is a high-risk market. It is volatile. Nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen. But given the fundamentals of Bitcoin, and given that it has proven itself, the technology has proven itself now for a number of years, I don't believe this is going to go away. And therefore, I can see it getting more valuable, and certainly more valuable in the next 1, 2, 3, and certainly the 5 year time frame that I'm looking at.
So at the time this video was recorded, Bitcoin's price was around $400, and he predicted that by the end of 2017, maybe a year after the halving, we could possibly, maybe see Bitcoin at a $3,000 price point in 2017. Maybe. He was thinking way too small. Everybody was. In fact, check this out. He released another video a month later because of this. Take a look at how the graph looks now. And now take a look at how the graph changed 1 month later. It went up. It went up. And as you know, this was just the beginning, because 2016 steadily trended upwards because it turned into a bull cycle. And then in 2017, when the price got above previous all-time highs, that's really when the parabolic gains started to happen. When Bitcoin gets over $20,000 again, it's going to make a lot of people think, why is Bitcoin still around? And then they're going to realize Bitcoin's probably going to continue to be around, and they're going to be educated by us in the media that Bitcoin usually goes way above all-time highs in its next cycle. And everybody's going to think $20,000 is a great price to buy into Bitcoin. And people are going to FOMO in. So what is the takeaway? Well, of course, you need to make your own decisions. I'm just telling you my strategy, what works for me. Obviously, a ton of more people are going to make a ton of more money by investing in Bitcoin and crypto. So don't take my word as gospel, but my personal price target for the next 2 to 3 years is a Bitcoin price from 100,000 to up to 300,000. And I'm going to tell you why, and this is what we've gone over before. So just read this paragraph. Crypto analyst and author of Cryptocurrencies Simply Explained, Julian Hosp, says a metric known as the stock-to-flow ratio indicates Bitcoin is on a trajectory to $1 million over the next 10 years. So that would be after many bull and bear cycles. So this ratio calculates the current supply of a given commodity divided by the amount produced per year in order to predict future value. We have talked about stock-to-flow ratio before. What's amazing to me is if you look at Bitcoin's price according to what the stock-to-flow ratio technically is, you can see that Bitcoin's price has always been correlated to the stock-to-flow ratio. If it goes above the stock-to-flow ratio, it always comes back down. If it goes below the stock-to-flow ratio, it always kind of comes back up. And after each halving, the stock-to-flow ratio goes up. So when using the ratio to determine where Bitcoin may be heading, the leading cryptocurrency's limited supply of 21 million coins emerges as a key factor. Bitcoin has a fixed supply, which makes it very scarce. So in the short term, Hosp says the model shows that Bitcoin's upcoming halving, which will cut the block rewards given to miners in half in 2020, should boost the price of Bitcoin from $100,000 or up to $100,000, maybe even up to $300,000. So suddenly, we will have way less production. So by having this, in order to keep the ratio stable, just from that, the price of Bitcoin needs to double. But we are so much lower right now in stock-to-flow ratio compared to gold. As we get closer and closer to gold's ratio, the price should actually go up to $100,000, maybe even $300,000. And then we would perhaps have a similar setback, a pullback, when we go into the next bear market, maybe down to around $40,000. That is this person's opinion. And it seems crazy to think of a Bitcoin at $300,000 today. Just like it seemed crazy just 3 years ago to think Bitcoin could maybe be at $3,000. But Bitcoin went far above that. And I'm not trying to incite FOMO. I'm basically telling you why I have decided not to sell, even though we have rallied up. And if and when we pull back, which I'm sure we're going to have to pull back for an extended period of time at some point, I think we're going to eventually end up seeing heavy accumulation because people are accumulating here. Now that everybody's starting to realize that this bull market is going into full effect, people are going to buy the dips and stay with the trend, and the price is going to move up. And this is how it always is. 2018, I should have sold Bitcoin at $20,000. In 2020, I should have bought Bitcoin back when it was at $7,000. 2022, I should have sold Bitcoin at $100,000. 2024, I should have bought back into Bitcoin at $50,000. People always think this way. Right now, you need 2.4 million to be considered wealthy in the United States. A decade ago, 10,000 Bitcoin bought you a pizza. Today, 10 Bitcoin will buy you a nice car. In the next decade, 1 Bitcoin, and you'll be considered wealthy. That is a possible scenario. And then, of course, the last time Bitcoin broke $8,000, Microsoft wasn't building on it, Congress wasn't fighting it, Bakkt wasn't launching it, Square wasn't selling it, Fidelity wasn't storing it, TD Ameritrade wasn't trading it, Whole Foods wasn't accepting it through a third-party app. But that's interesting, right? I mean, all these things make the bullish case for Bitcoin a lot stronger. How about this news? Trading app Robinhood is set to raise at least $200 million. And of course, you know that Robinhood first introduced Bitcoin and Ethereum trading in January of last year. So you don't think that some of this money that they're fundraising is going to go towards advertising, where companies like Robinhood and Bakkt and Square and Fidelity, they're all going to want you to buy Bitcoin from them. They're all going to advertise how buying Bitcoin from them is the most easiest user-friendly experience and that you should use them to buy Bitcoin, and that's going to get just more awareness around Bitcoin and crypto, and that's the future I see. Anyways, All right, that is it for me today, my friends. I hope you found value. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you appreciate big picture videos like this, do me a favor, hit the like button. Liking our videos, it's a small thing you can do. It truly does help us grow as a channel. That's it. I will see you tomorrow.